Green-minded ka ba? O, baka iba yung nasa isip mo. Nakikita mo ba tong maliliit na green sa harap ko? Tama, ito ay munggo, isang halimbawa ng microgreen. Alam mo ba, marami na akong natutunan tungkol sa microgreen. Kaya naman, I feel like I'm a green-minded person already. So, if you wanna be a green-minded person like me, keep on watching this video. Green-minded ka ba? Think green, learn microgreen.
Hi, bestie! Anong ulam mo for lunch?
Oh, I'll have microgreens for lunch. Diet kasi ako.
Microgreens? Ang arte naman. Hindi ba toge lang yun? Ha? Ano microgreens ka dyan? Di ba toge lang yan?
Yan ang sinasabi ko sa'yo. Huwag kasi puro Asoka Makeup Challenge ang pinapanood mo. Mag-research ka rin kasi. Teka, dadalhin kita sa fantasy world ko.
Huy! Asan tayo?
Green-minded ka ba?
Hala! Huwag po.
Ano ba yung iniisip mo? Ang ibig kong sabihin, nakikita mo ba yung green doon sa itoktok ng carbonara?
Alin dyan?
Yun. Alam mo ba yun? Isang halimbawa yan ng microgreen. Ang microgreen, usually ginagamit sila pang finishing touch sa pasta o di kaya pang salad. But in my case, gusto ko siyang gamitin as ulam. Kaya naman ngayon, alam mo na yung lunch ko kanina.
Ah, yun pala yun. Dahil dyan, green-minded na din ba ako?
Well, hindi pa. Kasi marami ka pang hindi alam tungkol sa microgreen. But you're getting there.
Maraming hindi alam? Tulad ng ano?
Tara muna sa school.
Ta?
O ngayon, at least alam mo na ang microgreens ay mga halaman na inaani habang bata o mura pa lang sila. Ang microgreen ay mayaman sa sustansya gaya ng vitamina, minerals, and antioxidants. Kaya naman, bet na bet ko silang kainin. Pero alam mo ba na ang microgreens ay madali lang din patubuin?
Oh, talaga? Interesting. So, paano?
Pwes, makinig ka.
Mga gabay sa pagpapalago ng mung bean microgreens. Una, hugasan ng mabuti ang mga buto upang maalis ang mga dumi na nakapalibot dito. Pangalawa, ibabad ang mga buto sa tubig sa loob ng 8 hanggang 12 oras. Pangatlo, kumuha ng isang microgreen tray at maglagay ng isang layer ng cocoa peat o cocoa fiber. Basain ang cocoa peat o cocoa fiber ng tubig. Maaari ring gumamit ng 2 layer ng paper towel bilang medium kung walang mapagkukunan ng cocoa peat o cocoa fiber. Pang-apat, ikalat ang mga buto ng pantay-pantay sa tray. Pang-5, takpan ang setup ng isa pang plastic container o black corrugated polypropylene sheet na kasing laki ng microgreen tray. Maglagay ng mabigat na bagay sa ibabaw nito. Pang-6, sa unang 3 araw, wisikan ng tubig at vinegar solution na naglalaman ng 1 kutsara ng suka sa 1 tasa ng tubig ang mga punla ng 2 beses sa 1 araw. Pang-7, sa ika-4 na araw, alisin ang takip at ilantad sa liwanag ang mga punla. Pwedeng gumamit ng LED o natural na liwanag. Siguraduhin may tubig sa ilalim ng tray habang lumalaki pa ang mga punla. At sa wakas, ang mung bean microgreens ay handa ng anihin simula sa ika-6 na araw. Gamit ang malinis na gunting o kutsilyo, putulin ang mga shoots mula sa base. Oras na para enjoyin ang inyong microgreens. Oh, ang dali lang, di ba?
Ah, ganun pala yun. Mukhang susubukan ko yan mamaya sa bahay Pero, may tanong ulit ako. Green-minded na ba ako niyan?
Well, yes. Pero, alam mo ba kung paano ka magiging ultra green-minded?
Paano?
Sa pamamagitan ng pagpapatubo ng mga microgreens na hindi masyadong nakadepende sa synthetic fertilizers at iba pang kemikal. Ang mga ito kasi ay may masamang epekto sa ating kalikasan. Kaya naman dito na rin papasok ang mga sustainable farming practices gaya ng organic farming at hydroponics.
Pwede mo pa ba akong kwentuhan tungkol sa mga sustainable farming practices?
Well, as much as I want to, alam mo naman, may 1 PM plus tayo, so hindi tayo pwedeng malate doon. Kaya naman, abangan ang susunod na kwentuhan dito lamang yan sa Green-Minded Ka Ba? Think Green, Learn Microgreen!
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Arvin Joshua P. Berlongo, the founder and president of Sprout Up Philippines, and also a part of a core project from the Institute of Crop Science. One of our partners is Assistant Professor Maria Fatima Mercado. So, she's Ma'am Timmy from iCrops. She's handling Agri 121, Agri 111, yung mga courses na yon. And I am one of the students who was also inspired sa kanyang passion on, microgreens. Thus, I am presenting this in this class. Ayan. So this is entitled Why Microgreens Are the Next Big Thing. So fun fact, back when I was in, I think, second year or third year in college, I wrote an article and submitted it to the Aggie and Gold sa CAFS, and it was published as one of the articles nung I think August issue nung 2021 or 2020, yes, 2021, na kasi yung microgreens I just knew it from my advisor. Ayon. Parang sinabi lang niya sa akin na, uy, what if i-try mo mag-research on microgreens? And I did my job. uh, Nag-research ako on microgreens, and then I really found it interesting. Tapos ayun na yung ginawa kong undergraduate thesis. I looked for different research gaps, and then eventually it also became my master's thesis, and now I am passionate to share what microgreens is all about, especially now na part ako ng project on microgreens training. So we are going to different communities, different schools for us to teach them on how to produce microgreens. And it is quite flattering to see a lot of them really practicing microgreens. We have one of our trainees back then, I think last May. So she was a part of the senior citizens, I think, or PWDs na we were able to engage back in May. So ngayon, she's posting on Facebook on how she is growing microgreens. Tapos, ano yung ginagawa niya doon? So, niluluto rin niya. Ganyan. So, those are things that are really flattering on our end as some of the as teachers kumbaga ng mga communities na yon. First, I want to thank the FICs of Agri 199 and yeah, for inviting me as one of your speakers for this course. Parang 2 years ago lang ako yung kumukuha ng 199. Ayan. So, ayan. So to start, we have here the 6 bite-sized facts about microgreens. First, microgreens are young edible plants. Later, I will flash some of the pictures na meron ako ng microgreens, and some are also from Canva kasi meron na rin yan sa Canva. And actually, ginagawa na rin kasi sila ever since, like, I think in the early 1990s. So they are being used sa other countries, especially sa West. But then here in the Philippines, is it not? It is not yet being promoted, etc. So that is also one of the reasons why we want to educate people on microgreens. So these are young edible plants, tiny young plants that are harvested after the true leaves have developed. So if you will notice in my presentation, yung nasa taas ng ano na yan, so meron dyan dalawang dahon because that is one of the general classification or general characteristic of microgreens. So meron silang first 2 true leaves. Ayan. So but also there are also some and there are also some exceptions when it comes to that. Let's say for example, yung mga peas natin. So since masyado pang maliit kapag yung first 2 true leaves lang, para mas maraming harvest, mas pinapalaki sila ng mas mature na mas maraming tendrils, ganyan. So, ayan. So, ready within 7 to 21 days after germination. And of course, that is also based on kung ano yung species nila. Ayan. So, may mga species tayo na 7 days pa lang pwede nang i-harvest. Let us say, for example, yung mga Fabaceae. So yung mga leguminous microgreens natin, katulad ng mung bean, rice bean, yung mga yan. So those can be harvested as early as 7 or less than 7 days. Yeah. So it is also one of the parts of my master's and undergraduate thesis. So another fact about microgreens is that they are packed with nutrients. So they are high in vitamins like A, C, and K. They are rich in minerals such as iron and potassium, contains antioxidants which support health. This is also one of the things uh that I studied for my master's and for my undergrad. So I looked up or I tested on their phytochemical and their proximate composition ng rice bean microgreens to be specific. So later siguro I will have a little talk on that. So they are used in culinary dishes. So it adds flavor to salads, sandwiches, and wraps. It enhances texture and color in soups and entrees, blended into smoothies for a nutritional boost. Later, I will be flashing some pictures of those. And they're grown in small spaces. So this is what is really interesting about microgreens. In fact, it can be classified into a sustainable agriculture na gumagamit ng lesser amount of space. So if you're familiar with vertical gardening, so vertical gardening, it can be done in the context of hydroponics and even soil gardening, right? So yung microgreens, pwede na siya maging ganon. Ang microgreens kasi, they can be grown in small trays, then you can have a lot of layers sa isang shelf. So let's say for example, you have a 1 by 2 feet na shelf, then meron siyang 3 layers. Doon sa shelf na yun, you can grow, I think, 6 na trays ng microgreens. So, ayun, nakaka-save siya ng space. And also, it is, anong tawag dito, hindi siya ganun kagasto sa water. Kasi unlike, di ba, kapag tayo nagtatanim, parang um, kailangan mong from germination until mag-mature siya, there's a distinct water requirement. So sa microgreens, there are some commercially available trays na pwede mo nilang lagyan yung baba ng water. Tas ayun na, kusa na siyang tutubo. So hindi siya ganun ka-high maintenance, kumbaga. Ayan. So suitable for indoor or balcony gardening, ideal for urban farming or small-scale production. So ito rin yung pinaka-unique talaga niya is it is quick to grow. So fast growing, harvested within weeks, days nga rin actually, pwede na eh. So simple to cultivate with minimal resources. One of the things that we are doing in the project is equipping our beneficiaries with the tools. Ano ba yung mga pwede nilang i-recycle na mga bagay for microgreens cultivation? Let us say for example, yung mga microwavable. So pwedeng gamitin yon as tray kung saan pwedeng tumubo yung microgreens. Then after that, pag meron ka ng microwavable, pwedeng tissue paper na lang yung growing medium. And then after that, ilalagay mo na yung seed, tapos tutubo na sila doon. So as simple as that, we can have a microgreen setup. And that is also the reason why we are actually promoting this, because it can be a valuable resource when it comes to household food security. One of the reasons why I really did microgreens back in my undergraduate thesis, kasi pandemic noon. So I did my thesis in 2021, tapos pandemic noon. And one of the things that I really want to test is it really doable sa household? Like kapag nasa kitchen ka, pwede ka bang magtanim lang ganyan? So that we can also promote this into household consumption, which is ayun yung ginagawa namin ngayon sa project namin. So ayan. So simple to cultivate with minimal resources. So you don't need fertilizers, you don't need nutrients anymore, since we will only be growing them in a matter of days. So popular among beginners and experienced gardeners. And of course, ang pinakamaganda, there is a variety of plants na pwede mo gamitin as microgreens. So ito katulad yung mga herbs natin like basil, cilantro, and dill, even vegetables such as radish, beet, kale, and some grain and legumes can also be grown as microgreens. So if you are planning to start a microgreen setup, make sure na yung inyong mga seeds ay walang kulay. Like, hindi yung blue, hindi yung red, ganun. Because those are some seed treatments, di ba, for pests. Or dapat kapag gagamit kayo ng microgreen seeds, they are really like yung raw. So, kung ano siya na seeds, ayun dapat siya. That is the reason why we are promoting legumes first sa aming project. Actually, ang pinaka-basic na pwedeng gawin is munggo. After 4 to 5 days, meron ka ng mung bean microgreens. So that is one thing na pwede nyong simulan. Una, kasi sobrang accessible ng seeds niya. Bibili ka lang sa palengke ng mga buo-buong seeds. I think 20 pesos, 10 pesos, then ilagay mo sa tissue. Then after that, meron ka ng pwedeng kainin na microgreens. That is also one of the first microgreens or species na tinry ko nung pandemic. Kasi noong una, syempre ang sabi ko, kailangan ko munang tignan or kailangan ko munang itry ang kung paano mag-grow ng microgreens. And fortunately, during that time, I was under an internship in an American company. And then, ayun, binigyan nila ako ng pera to start my microgreens setup sa bahay. So, ayan, ginawan ng paraan. Ayan. So, during that time, ang mga ginamit ko, sunflower, pwede ang sunflower microgreens, and actually, masarap siya na ihalo sa scrambled egg, ganyan. Yung mung bean microgreens, ang ginawa ko sa kanya dati nung pandemic ay inihalo ko siya sa noodles. Ayan. So, para at least merong nutrition naman yung noodles natin. So, just, I think, 3 months ago, this article was released during my graduation sa MSN. So, I just graduated last August. So, nung mismo graduation, lumabas tong article na to na sinabit namin sa isang journal ng isang university, which is DMM MSU. So, ayan, this is our article na introducing microgreens to Pinggang Pinoy, prospects in cultivation, marketability, and indigenous crops utilization. So, if you want to access this, you can just search that title. If you are also someone na wala pang topic siguro or may interested kayo sa microgreens. So ayan, you can search for this. Ayan. So in this article, this is our graphical abstract. So because of an increasing global market value of microgreens, did you know that in the United States, for every square foot, you can have a revenue of $55. So that is $55 sa space lang na 1 square foot ha. Ayun. So that because of that, nag-result siya sa mataas na global market value, which is 776, that is actually million in 2019. Ayan. So, pataas din yung kanyang growth ng industry, yung microgreens industry. Ayan. So, itong controlled environment agriculture, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na uh, microgreens can be classified under that. And that whole movement was a result of the decreasing arable lands, increasing climate change, and increasing world population. So we need to have more food options for us to be food secure. Not only food secure, but even food sovereign, di ba? So ito yung sa article na yon, these are the 12 species that we recommend to explore for microgreens production. So if you still haven't got your thesis topic, you can try this, especially if you're under the crop science, di ba? So, ayan. So, ito yung pansit-pansitan. Tapilan is my undergraduate and my master's thesis. So, may information na dito, but still there's a lot of things to uncover pa. So, ayan, bataw, patani, samsamping, sigarilyas, kadios, paayap, saluyot, orasiman, alugbati, and talino. So, and our mission for doing this is to introduce it to the Filipino food plate. And it is actually encouraging to see in some of my conferences that I have attended, there are emerging other researchers on microgreens. So I attended the international conference last September August on crop science. And then nagulat ako na meron na rin nag-study ng cabbage microgreens. Although cabbage is already being used. So hindi ko lang na panood talaga yung presentation niya, pero nakita ko siya dun sa sa Book of Abstracts. Ayan. So ayun, nakakatuwa that there are a lot of people or there are already people studying on microgreens as well. So ayan, papahapyawan lang natin itong mga to. Microgreens production. So sa microgreens production, we have some research gaps when it comes to the growing protocols. Some of them is that the usage of growing media. Ano nga ba yung kailangan na growing media para mas maganda yung tubo ng microgreens? And perhaps you can relate this to some of its nutritional attributes katulad ng protein, vitamins, ganyan, minerals, ganun. So, kapag ba gumamit ng coco peat, mas tataas ba yung specific nutrient? Something like that. As of now, what we are promoting pa is, I think we have promoted coco peat in some of our high school beneficiaries. Ayun, coco peat. And ang pinaka-basic talaga is tissue. Ayan, siya pinaka-mura, pinaka-accessible. Ganyan. Ang coco peat kasi, it's either bibili ka pa sa Shopee or sa mga garden stores. Ganyan. So vermiculite can also be done. Ang reason why inilagay ko dito yung vermiculite and garden soil. Garden soil, it is not that practical, especially if maliliit yung microgreens mo. Kasi imagine, pag hinarvest mo siya, na-expose siya sa soil, that is anong tawag dito? That is home to a lot of microorganisms, di ba? So, yung pwedeng gawin dito is to have a mixture. Ayun. So, pwedeng mag-mix-mix. Pero as of now, I think the cleanest and the cleanest growing media na pwedeng gamitin is coco peat. Kasi ito ay para siyang, alam niyo yung bunot. Ayun. So, doon siya galing sa coco fiber. Kaya naghalo-halo para mas maging mas maging aerated, ganyan. Or kung may kailangang specific na porosity ng what do you call this, ng growing medium. Let us say, for example, kung masyadong clayey yung garden soil, pwede ka mag-add ng vermiculite para mas maging porous siya. Ganyan. So this is my master's thesis, which is yung sa LED lights. So I studied on 5 different lights and its effect on microgreens. And surprisingly, baka surprisingly, hindi, ano tawag dito, nagkaroon ng difference sa kanilang effects. Let us say, for example, ito, 4 na lights lang yan kasi yung isa ay darkness. So, 5 light qualities. So, meron tayong negative control, which is yung darkness. Tapos ito, yung white, ayun yung positive since ito yung karaniwang ginagamit. Then, ito yung tinest namin. So, ang violet, ang purple, tapos yung blue, somehow comparable sila to white, whereas yung red, comparable siya sa darkness. So, ayun. So, through this research, nakita na in growing tapilan microgreens, we could use purple or yung white. Ayan. And another is yung nutrients. Some of the, let's say for example, in the Fabaceae family, karaniwan sa kanila, hindi na kailangan ng nutrients kasi tutubo yung mga yan. But then, there are some species, let us say for example, those under Brassicaceae, na kailangan talaga nila ng nutrients. So those are also some of the things na kailangan pang i-explore. Ayan. So more research gaps naman sa kanilang nutrient analysis, yung proximate analysis, vitamins and minerals, and phytochemicals. Yan. Ngayon, microgreens utilization. So sa portion na to, gugutumin ko lang kayo. So meron ako dito mga pictures kung paano ginagamit yung microgreens. So ito yung practical ways paano gamitin yung microgreens. Isinasama sa salad, sariwang idinadagdag para sa masarap at malutong na salad, and garnish sa mga ulam. So if you will follow our pinag-follow pa. If you will follow our Facebook page, UPLB iCrops, UPLB CAF's iCrops Microgreens Project, or you can just search Microgreens Project, you will see that we are also posting recipes. Ayan. Or stock na si Ma'am Timmy. Maraming mga recipes na ginawa yung mga high school students on microgreens. So sila rin yung nag-explore. So hinalo nila sa meatball, yung mga ganon. And soon we will have more recipes to come. Another one is that microgreens, pwede silang gamitin as aesthetic na portion kapag nagpe-plating ka. So if you will go to Bonitos, ganyan, meron sila dong mga, ano nga ba yun, yung menu nila doon na tomatoes or fries, meron siyang microgreens sa taas. Ayun. So, dun, ginagamit siya for aesthetic purposes, lalo na sa culinary na world. Yan, masustansya idinadagdag sa inumin. So, pwede rin siya sa mga smoothies nga. So, it can be consumed, cut, or it can be sold, cut, live, or cooked. So, cut microgreens, ayan siya. Ganyan lang yung itsura niya. Pinutol na microgreens, sariwa at handa ng gamitin. Ayan. So, yung cooked microgreens naman, pwede mo siyang iluto bago mo siya ibenta. Parang so, pwede na siyang isahog dito sa mga salads. So, if you will also go sa Umali, sa Korean store doon, ang alam ko nagtitinda na rin sila ng microgreens doon. Tapos naka clamshell packaging siya. So, ito yung undergraduate thesis ko. Dito rin nag-stem yung aking master's thesis kasi na-observe namin na kapag iniiba yung light exposure niya, nag-iiba siya na itsura. So ayun yung parang naging focus noong aking master's thesis. So ito yung ginawa ko noon. Ito yung rice bean microgreens. Rice bean is an indigenous crop here in the Philippines. Ang kanyang common name ay tapilan. It is, nasa family siya ng Fabaceae. So siya ay Vigna umbellata. Ayan. So, ganyan siya. Tapos, ayan, nung time na yun, in-steam ko siya. Meron akong, kasi nagpaano ako nun, sensory. Hindi naman sensory. Nagpatikim lang. Ano ba? Consumer acceptability. Ayan. Tapos, sa mga household sa amin, undergrad to. Wala pang reb. Ganon. So, anong tawag dito? Nag-steam ako, nag-raw. Yung raw lang. Tapos, yung lumpiang gulay. Ayun. Tapos ito, para daw siyang kangkong. So, that's a good sign na meron talaga siyang, like, pwede siyang makain na kasi kumakain na tayo ng ganon. Yung kangkong tapos isasaw sa bagoong, ganyan. So, ganon yung kanyang lasa. And marami ring nasarapan dito sa lumpiang microgreens, lumpiang gulay. Ayun. So, ito, walang ibang laman yan. Like, yung microgreens lang talaga. Ayan. So, raw, steamed, tapos yung lumpiang gulay. Some of the other ways kung paano siya kainin according to Canva, ay ayan, pwedeng sa taas ng ano nga bang tawag sa ganito? Yung may avocado pa, tas ayan. Ito salad. Ito yung sinasabi ko na done piece. So sa done piece, hindi lang talaga hinihintay yung first two leaves. So ayun, kung makikita nyo marami na siyang leaves. So that's an exception, I think. Ito pwede rin ihalo sa burger. Ayan, so microgreens, burger. Ayan, pwede rin sa mga ganitong recipes. Ayan. O, diba? Nakakagutom. Tapos, kung nakapansin nyo, ang karaniwang gamit talaga sa kanya is to just pop color dun sa mga dishes. Ayan. So, may purple siyang pigmentation, may green. Ito, purple, tapos may green din. Ayun. Ayun, ito yung sa smoothies. Nakakatuwa nga na nung in one of our workshops with PWDs, I think, habang nagdi-discuss kami, like, ano siya like, hindi lang siya one way, because habang nagdi-discuss kami, may nagtataas na ng kamay, tapos parang, sir, pwede nga po yan sa ganito, ganyan-ganyan. Tapos, parang nagkakaroon na agad sila ng idea kung paano nila gagamitin. Tas in that same audience, dun nga nanggagaling yung mga aktibo namin na mga participants. Tas hanggang ngayon, ginagawa nila yung microgreens. Yan. So ito, ang another way naman to sell microgreens is to uh, sell it na live microgreens para yung mga customers na lang yung magkakat noon. So ito yung mga ilan. May mga, ganito yung karaniwang pinuproduce ng big farms, katulad ng Pedro Farms, if you're familiar with Pedro Farms. Tapos, dadalhin nila yan sa mga hotels and sa restaurants na naka-tray, tapos ayun yung bentahan doon. If you will look at their website, makikita nyo ng isang tray ng microgreens na medyo malaki naman. Mga 2 by 1 na feet ay mga nasa 7,000 ang isang ganyan. So, mahal siya. So, may pera sa microgreens. Ayan yung mga ilang example ng live microgreens. So, ang reason for doing this is that mas magiging fresh na yung microgreens. Kasi di ba kapag kinot mo na siya, magde-deteriorate na yan pagkarating sa consumers. Whereas kapag ganito, mas assure yung kanyang freshness. So that relates to post-harvest handling. So, of course, in post-harvest handling, it is important that we take into account the storage temperature, the packaging. Ayan. So, ito yung mga packaging na tinest ko when I was in undergrad. So, clamshell packaging and yung zip bags. Actually, tinest ko rin siya ngayong MS and I just presented that paper sa conference nung August. Ayun. So, ang pinaka-okay is clamshell packaging. Ayan. So, of course, kapag mag-store ka ng microgreens sa iyong bahay mismo, huwag mo siyang i-store sa freezer o kaya sa sobrang lamig. Kailangan dito lang sa lower compartment kasi they are very prone to chilling injury. Ayan. And of course, as I end, ito naman yung mga business opportunities. This is actually one of the parts of my master's thesis na incorporated na dun sa review article na pinublish namin last August. Ayan. So, if you're familiar with this is the unique value proposition canvas. So, masyado siyang marami ngayon. I-try natin isa-isahin. So, ito yung customer segment. Ayan. Then, andito yung mga sa value proposition mismo ng product. So, let's see. So, sa customer segments muna tayo. Ano nga ba yung customer's job ngayon? So, kailangan nila ng food supply for food security. They are sourcing out fresh and nutritious food and they are seeking convenience. Ano yung mga pains? Degrading quality and freshness, high price of microgreens options in the market. If you will look at the prices of microgreens commercially or even sa mga malls, they are priced at an average of 179 pesos for 100 grams. So this is the reason why we are really advocating for self-sustenance para matuto na yung mga people on how to grow microgreens by themselves kasi ang mahal niya kapag bibili mo sa market. For 100 grams, 179 pesos na. So, ayun. And of course, carbon footprints are higher when food are transported. Ayan. So, here are the gains. So, if we promote microgreens, if we sell microgreens, ayan, magkakaroon ng food security, there will be a diverse food plate, lalo na ngayon na increasing ang food prices. Ayan, food safety rin kasi ikaw yung mag-grow and improve health and nutrition and environmental stewardship. So ito yung value proposition ng microgreens. So the gain creators are the vibrant colors na meron sa microgreens, culinary versatility, nutrition, quick and easy to grow, and it is sustainable. So the pain relievers ay kapag meron kang if you're a grower of microgreens, you can ensure consistent food supply. You will have a reduction on the expenses dun sa food mo. Fresh sila and it will reduce your carbon footprint. The significance of growing microgreens or microgreens in general, they can be sold in trays, they can grow faster, they're colorful, high proximate composition, high phytochemicals, indigenous in the context of this crop. Ito nandiyan na naka-display, that is tapilan or yung rice bean natin, yung undergraduate and master's thesis crop ko. Ayun. So, good culinary ingredient. Yeah, so here are some of the marketable products. So, ito na yung epekto ng different LED lights. So, dahil in-expose ko siya sa different LED lights, may ilang LED lights na nag-produce ng may purple pigmentation, may ilan na green lang yung pinroduce, tapos yung dark ay yellow. Ayan. So, those are some of the marketable products. So, ito yung itsura nila sa tray mismo. Ayan. So here are some of the advantages and the disadvantages lang of using or selling cut and live microgreens. And convenience, ready to use, less labor for consumers, minimal preparation needed, and versatile for cut. Kapag sa live naman, fresh siya, maximum retention of nutrients and flavor, people can experience harvesting. It reduces the need for single-use packaging. Yan, for live. Ang disadvantage naman, sa cut microgreens, nagkakaroon ng risk on reduced nutrient due to degradation. So, yung disadvantage ng cut, ayun yung advantage ng live microgreen. So, highly perishable siya and additional costs for packaging. And they require additional work for customers naman kapag sa live. Pero magkakat lang naman, di ba? And bulky since more storage space are needed. So if you want to grow microgreens, kailangan nyo mag-allot ng, actually hindi naman sobrang laking space. Kahit isang table lang or taas lang ng cabinet, ganun, pwede na sila. Ayun. Anyway, to end the presentation, this is the way forward. This is very relevant when it comes to the future of microgreens production or the microgreens industry itself. So, education. Consumer education is really important in the context of microgreens. Thus, I really thank the AGRI 199 FICs for inviting me here. Ayan. So, it is really important for us to expand our efforts to educate consumers about microgreens, their benefits, and how to grow them. Yan. So, for us to introduce microgreens to the Filipino diet, it is also important to explore the awareness and perceptions of Filipinos towards microgreens, as the data from this future exploration can help marketers and business owners develop effective strategies to market tapilan microgreens. I actually just presented a paper on this exploration on awareness and perception ng Filipino sa microgreens. It is a really ano tawag dito, raw na data, pero ang dami mo na siyang, or small pa lang yun. Actually, hindi siya small. Kasi marami ang respondents. Parang 200 plus. Then, na-narrow down namin. So, 122. So, ayun. Perhaps this year or early next year, I can publish that preliminary data. Mahalaga to na malaman natin kung paano nga ba napo-perceive ng mga Pilipino yung emerging technologies natin. Ayun. Crucial to because all of this research, the research that I have done for my undergraduate and master's thesis, and also some of my students. Ayun, so may mga naging estudyante rin kasi ako na nabudol ko sila na mag-study on microgreens. Ayan, so may mga susunod na mag-aaral on microgreens, which is I'm really happy. And that is also one of my missions nung ako ay nag-enter as teaching associate sa iCrops. So that was one of my missions to also influence next researchers on this topic. Ayan. So this is crucial because all of this research would be useless if there are no consumers who are going to willingly consume microgreens in the first place. So that is the crucial part. No matter how great we are when it comes on to researching microgreens, but if there are no consumers who's going to buy that kapag nasa shelves na sila, it will be useless. So I really think that above everything else, it is important that as we research on the technical side of microgreens, on the horticultural agronomic side, we need to educate first. And that is why we are doing this lectures then. So that's it. If you have any questions or any ideas, you can message me at sproutupi6111 at gmail.com or follow Sprout Up Philippines on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Follow Sprout Up Philippines, guys. So many exciting things are coming. And yeah, if you have any questions regarding this presentation, you can just message me there or sa Sprout of Philippines. Sabihin nyo lang na from Agri 199 kayo para hindi ko kayo mapagkamalang ibang tao. Okay, so that's it. Again, this is Arvin Joshua P. Barlongo para sa Bayan, Agham, at Agrikultura. Thank you.